Hello, welcome to Organize with Grace. This is Grace, your host, and thank you for tuning in. I have an episode for you for this month. Yay! It seems like September was a blur. It seems like it passed way too fast, and I didn't get to record an episode, but here I am. And I hope you enjoy this because initially I was going to publish this for September, but I thought that it would be great and appropriate for the upcoming holidays because this behavior, though, yes, we do it throughout the year, I feel like it's a lot more prominent during this season. And let me know if you agree or disagree. But most of all, I hope that you enjoy this episode. Welcome back to Organize with Grace podcast. If you're ready to declutter your life and home so that you can make room for peace in your heart, you're in the right place. Join me, Grace Ramon, your host and home organizer, where I and my guests share tips and encouragement to help you get started, especially when you don't know where to start. I'm here with you as you begin your decluttering journey, so let's get going. You ready? It's been a while, as usual, but I think you should be used to me by now that I pop in and out of the podcast. And I just want to thank you for continuing to listen. In the meantime, I have been thinking about you and I have been working on some topics to talk about with you. And I am also currently in the middle of yet another pivot with my business and the podcast as well to line it up with what I am focusing on with business. And that is working with, number one, working with realtors to help their clients get decluttered so that their homes are show ready. And I'm working on becoming a senior move manager. Therefore, the focus group that I have are midlife folks to seniors when it comes to my current business. In fact, I am in the midlife category myself. I am 46 years old, so love our, I love my own age group, and I want to continue to serve you in this capacity. So I'm excited to niche down to this age range, and it's going to be fun. And of course, there will be other clients that are not, within that age range, but that's okay as long as they're a good fit for me. But right now, that is what I feel is the season that I'm in as far as the type of client that I would love to work with, and I have been working with. So that's kind of where I'm at. I would love to tell you more about it another time. But so I had been wondering, like, what can I talk to you about that may be useful to you during this beautiful month of October, where we are beginning to kick off the holiday season? And I came up with the topic of impulse buying. And I titled this, How to Win Against Being Tempted to Buy on Impulse. So let me start with a story. A couple of months ago, one, I was so proud of myself for making it to the post office for the sole purpose of mailing my passport renewal application. And it has taken me a while to do this. I think my passport was expired like a year or so. And so, even though I'm not looking to travel out of the country anytime soon, I felt like it was really important to have an active passport. And so that day I was in line, and along the wall, it looked, in my perspective, like I see this wall with all of these greeting cards, and it felt like spotlights were on it. And I found a couple of cards that I thought were super cute. One was like a 10 pack of thank you cards, and the other was said, like, you're awesome. So, kind of like an encouragement type of card. And they looked so cute. See, I am a sucker for stationery. And again, I went to the post office for a specific reason and came out with, you guessed it, 2 packs of cards that cost me a total of about $16. Now, did I need these? No, not really. I have a box full of greeting cards that I have, of course, unused. And so, were these an impulse buy? Certainly. So, what exactly is the definition of an impulse buy? According to the Cambridge Dictionary, it is something that you buy suddenly and without thinking carefully. And a blog post I found from nerdwallet.com that says that impulse buying means that you purchase something without planning to do so beforehand. And they gave an example, like if you're at the grocery store, you bought a gallon of milk, which is on your list, is not an impulse buy. The candy bar that you throw into your cart on a whim after spotting it on the shelves in the checkout line is an impulse buy. So, according to this definition, my purchasing the greeting cards is most definitely an impulse buy. And the blog post goes on to say that impulse buying often involves an external trigger, says Kerry Rattle, a New York based financial therapist and coach. Maybe that trigger is a sale or ad, for example, or perhaps you simply see the item in the store, on social media, or in the hands of your cool friend and suddenly want to have it. Now, was there anything inherently wrong about me picking up these greeting cards? No, I wanted them, and so I got them. I picked it up. And I'm glad I did, and I believe that I can use it in the future. So just know that this is not about making you or me feel bad about impulse buying. Instead, I want to bring awareness that impulse buying, if done often enough, contributes to clutter. And that's what we want to prevent. It's very tricky and it's very subtle because you're slowly but surely accumulating all of these little items and bringing them into your home, which now for me, I'm beginning to consider my home, the square footage, as expensive real estate. And wait a minute, I live here in California, so I don't even have to try to imagine my home as expensive real estate. It is expensive real estate. And I think it's pretty much across the board all over the nation right now that everything continues to go up, including the prices of homes. And I don't want to bring in anything that would clutter it up even more. Now, I'm not saying that I'm totally clutter free, but thankfully, I have gained the skills to be able to declutter on a regular basis. And you can too. You can do the same. These are skills that we can get sharper in. These are skills that we can obtain. So it's great. All right, so back to those 2 packs of greeting cards that I bought on impulse, that I really had no justification for it. And now I'm responsible for these things and need to find a place for them. Now, fortunately, I do have a place for them along with my other greeting cards in a box. So it's in a plastic bin. I don't impulse buy as often as I used to. Through time, it took years, mind you, it took years. Through time, I have become more mindful of what I am buying. And I used to think that that would like take away the fun of shopping, but it turns out that it's actually more fun when you take home an item that you really want and that you really need instead of an item you just bought because you felt like it at the moment. All right, as I mentioned, I used to do a lot of impulse buying, and I believe that it really contributed to my credit card debt that accumulated to about $17,000 of credit card debt, which has since been paid off for a while now, thank God. And so the stuff I used to purchase on impulse were books, pens, journals, greeting cards, clothes, and shoes. Now, why am I telling you this? Is because today I can use this list as a tool for me to be able to tell if, like, there is something that I'm picking up that I'm truly buying on impulse. Like, okay, this list is what I commonly would pick up. Therefore, it'll remind me that no, I don't necessarily need these items, and I can either put it back or think about whether or not I really want it instead of just buying it on a whim and not really think about it. Okay, so here's another tip on how to win against being tempted to buy on impulse. Have you ever heard of the acronym HALT? So that's HALT, HALT. So let me tell you what it stands for. It stands for hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. If you become aware that you may be picking up something that you did not plan, you can quickly check in with yourself and say, am I just picking up this Snicker bar because I'm hungry? Am I going out shopping because I'm angry about something? Or am I just feeling lonely? And that is why I'm impulse buying or going out shopping? Or am I picking this item up because I'm feeling tired? These are good ways to check in with yourself. And while the practical steps or practical tips of, like, making yourself a list, which is great, and then also, asking yourself questions like, did I plan to buy this or did I get the urge to buy it just now? I feel like if we were to try to remember this acronym, HALT, it will hopefully help us to pause and say, am I just hungry? Am I just angry? Am I just lonely? Am I just tired? Um, and could these be the reasons why I'm picking up this item uh, on impulse? And of course, I don't expect you to begin to analyze these feelings while you're in the middle of the line at Target or TJ Maxx or Home Goods. But like I said, my point is to give yourself a pause, give yourself some time to think about what it is that you are picking up. And also think about, well, is this going to, I'm trying to declutter, I'm trying to begin the process of decluttering. Is this going to add to the clutter, or is this something that is going to be really useful for me? And I say just, just lonely, just tired. I don't mean to minimize these emotions and physical state. What I'm talking about at the moment is that what could be driving us is the emotion. And what will result, and I don't want this for you, is because of an emotion driving you that you end up with things that you didn't really want in the first place, but it felt good at the time to pick up. And another thing I want to tell you is that give yourself grace when you have impulse bought. Um, Name it, call it an impulse buy, but don't beat yourself up over it. What's bought is bought, of course, unless you can return it, and that's perfectly fine. I return lots of items. I think my husband and I are like return kings and queens. He's more than me. He's great at returning things that he doesn't want. And so when you realize that you don't need it, you can easily return it. But if you cannot, don't beat yourself up. Don't feel bad. Just know that you are more aware than you were before. And the next time you're in a situation where you want to impulse buy, just try to remember these tips. And I would love to know if they work for you. Let me know. You can email me, grace@organizewithgrace.com. And I hope that this was helpful. And I just love talking about ways that we can, practical ways that we can implement, practical actions that we can implement to prevent more clutter in our homes. And again, your home is high real estate. You should have things that you love, and things that give you, your surroundings should give you peace, and a lot of, like a breather. You should be coming home to your home and rest, instead of thinking, oh my goodness, I have to organize this and that and this and that. Although that happens, we have to. It's an ongoing thing that we must do to keep up with the incoming things uh, that enter our homes. But anyway, yeah, let me know if this was helpful. Um, I'm not too much on social media these days, but I do try to check in. But the best way to connect with me is grace@organizewithgrace.com. And I thank you so much for staying with me, and I hope that you enjoyed this episode. Take care. Bye.